Hey everybody, Graz on location, undisclosed. I'm here to give you my August wrap-up. So I have papers, and then I'm going to give you like a mini year-to-day. Well, not mini, but I'm going to give you my year-to-day update. So in the month of August, I read 14 books for 5,038 pages. That was a pace of 162.52 pages a day. My biggest page day was 463, and the average book rating for me was 7.47 out of 10. So not bad. Now I'm quickly going to go through the books that I read. If you want to hear anything about any of these that I didn't already do a video on, then I will. I'm not really going to tell you what any of these are about. Maybe a quick little thing. I mean, this might go a little long, but that's okay. So at the bottom was Avenger of Antares by Alan Burt Akers. This is a 1975 science fiction book. This is the third one of this series that he released in 1975, so I'm kind of over that whole thing. I mean, I like science fiction, but this is more like sci-fi fantasy, and I'm not really into fantasy, unless it's Tolkien. But I gave this a 4.04 out of 10, which is awful. And if you want to know Goodreads ratings, just take my rating and cut it in half. Next up was A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. This was an Everest. This was 1,474 pages. And it was the final book in the reading list project, for which I'm a hero, because I finished it. Thank you, Kim. I proudly wear my medal. I gave this a 5 out of 10. It's about life in India. I mean, that's just basically what it boils down to in 1951 and 1952. Eventually, I'm probably going to talk about it a little bit more. Up next was Day by Day Armageddon 3 by J.L. Bourne. Obviously, it's the third installment in the Day by Day Armageddon series. This got a 6.58 out of 10. The first two books it's a zombie book, post-apocalyptic, or apocalyptic, whatever. And it's written in journal format, which is really cool, because there's like typos and stains on the pages, because it's like an actual diary that this guy writes in while he's on the run from zombies and trying to survive. Well, all of a sudden, this book, they kill the journal aspect. So they take away the one thing that sets it apart and makes it really, really good, and they just make it into an average book most of the time. And there's way more characters, because apparently the military has survived, and now they're sending the narrator and a special team on a mission to China. And it's just next up was Instant in the Wind by Andre Brink. This is another 1975 book. This is about a forbidden love story between a white woman and her African slave, or a African slave, not hers, but a African slave that saves her. And he's actually free, I think. He might have ran away. But and it's all about them crossing the Kuru, I think it's called, desert. And, and after a point, though, it sounds interesting, and it was at first, but after a point, it just turned into, how many ways can the author describe them being naked and having sex? I mean, at one point, after having almost very, very, very little vulgar language in it, one time, all of a sudden, you're in the slave's mind, and he just starts talking about her C word, which is disgusting. It had its moments, because the writer had a really good way of, like, when he was in the lady's mind, the writing was, very proper and up and everything. And then when he was in the slave's mind, it was like broken English and stuff. which is kind of what you expect in the, I guess this was the 1800s, late, like after the Civil War or whatever. Not that that mattered so much in South Africa. Okay, up next we have Ramona the Brave by Beverly Cleary, also a 1975 book. I mean, I would have to say that most people know what Ramona is about. I gave that a 7.15 out of 10. It was just there. Then we have The Pervert Book by Timothy C. Hobbs. Actual title down in the hollow, but it's The Pervert Book. I already did a rant video on this. This was a buddy read with Jay at Faceless Book Reviews. He did a rant on it. So go check that out. And I gave it a 7.39 out of 10, only because I rate each thing individually. But I will never recommend this. Don't read this book. It's filthy, it's disgusting, it's awful, it's horrible. Don't read it. I mean, watch my video for better triggers, but it basically has pedophilia in it. Okay, up next we have Shadow Prey by John Sanford, which was a 7.78 out of 10. It's the second book in the Lucas Davenport series. It's a cop crime book. It's got a lot of, it's like the Indians are there. And they're the bad guys, and actually technically they're not. I don't want to give much away. If you want, go watch my micro review on that. But something I didn't mention in my review that I forgot was this book also has pedophilia in it. I mean, it kind of fits the story because the one pimp has prostitutes that are from ages 6 to 12. And politicians are like his customers and stuff. And the one that the Indians are most after is on track to be the president of the United States. And he wants like a 10-year-old. I don't want to read about that. It's traumatizing. The only reason I'm continuing with the series is because my mom put so much work. School bus going around behind me. Put so much work into getting me the books. But I'm telling you what, if there's more of that crap, I might just like skip that book and move on to the next. Because I don't want to read pedophilia. There's a lot of things I can handle, but pedophilia is not one of them. Okay, the next three happen to be just back to back to back, are my indie books for August. Yeah, I'm doing Fall of the Indies, where August, September, October, I'm reading at least 3 independently authored books, or independently published books, each month. And I might go further with it. I'm probably going to take it further. Maeve at Maeve Ever Reads, I think. Her channel will be linked below. So will Faceless. Maeve is also doing an independent project this month, and I'm trying to convince her into continuing it each month. So we're kind of like collab, whatever, kind of different names, but we're both following the independent authors. Okay, so these next 3 are those. We have Hollowland by Amanda Hocking. This is basically book 1 of, I think it's a trilogy of a zombie story. I like reading about zombies and survivors, and this is an interesting one because one of the bite victims happens to be immune. So the military, who is still around, has taken that person and is experimenting to try and save the rest of the human race. So we'll see how that goes. I give that a 7.81 out of 10. And then the next 2, we have Eye of the Storm and A Change in the Winds by Nikki Mulatto. They managed to be right next to each other on my rating list. These are a private eye solving crimes and falling in love and following the message that God is great. And on that, look at that sunrise. Okay. All right, that's gonna make for fun viewing. I dropped my phone in the middle of the thing. Yay, Art. Graz. Yeah, my name's Art. Whatever. But I liked both of these. I did ups and downs, or downs and ups for both of these. And what's really awesome about this is that Nikki addressed all of my all of my concerns and all of my downs in a respectful manner. So she really understands the reading and writing relationship. So please go check out her channel, Writing for Jesus. Okay, Eye of the Storm got an 8.2 out of 10, and A Change in the Winds got an 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good, because I rate really hard. Then, now we're in my top 4. So A Change in the Winds made top 5 for the month. Top 4. We have Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I read this for Super Small Summer, of which I was a co-host, and I'm going to do a final video on that in a day or two. But yeah, Fahrenheit 451 was for that one, and it's based. I mean, everybody knows what Fahrenheit 451 is about, right? It's about a like this dystopian future where books are outlawed, and the firemen no longer put out fires. What they do is they go around and burn books, and the main fireman decides to start saving them. But I did a video on that too, so go check that out. That's only 2 minutes, and that got an 8.55 out of 10. Then we have Expatriates by Peter Clines. This is book 2 in his X series, where it's more zombies, but this time it's kind of different because it's like there's superheroes and there's zombies. So it even says it on the cover of one of the books. It's like Avengers meets The Walking Dead, and it really is like that. It's really, really good. And this was book 2, and I gave that an 8.67 out of 10. And then we come to my top 2 books of the month, which actually happened to become my top 2 books of the year. In second place, we have Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson. I'm not going to say too much about this because I think I might do a video because it was really awesome. It's a science fiction of the moon blows up and what happens after that. And that got an 8.83 out of 10. That's my second best book of the year, if that tells you anything. If you go by Goodreads ratings, that's a 4.4. So, my second best book of the year after August is a 4.4. So I'm a really tough rater. And then my best book of the year and of August, The Sun is Coming Out. Law. It was a 1975 book, which surprised me because most of them are pretty crap. It's called The Year of the Hare by Arto Paasilinna, Finnish author. It's really hard to explain, and it's really easy to explain. I mean, it's kind of like this guy gets tired of his life. He saves this hare, which is basically a rabbit. A bigger version, more suited for the winter. And he saves it because his colleague hits it with a car, and he gets out to see if it's okay, and he nurses it back to health, and it's his buddy. And they form like a almost symbiosis, which is really neat. Not quite that, but a really deep, like the hare really loves him, and you can tell, and he really needs it to like survive. So they have a really good relationship. And then he just like gets tired of his life and leaves. And starts hiking through Finland, northern Finland. And at one point even goes over into Russia. So I'm probably going to do a in-depth review on that because it's my favorite book of the year. It got a 9.26 out of 10. So it didn't quite catch the barn for the best 1975 book I've read. Bert Breen's Barn is still the absolute best 1975 book I've read. So we'll see. But that's my books for August. Again, if I haven't done a video and you want to hear more, let me know. Now, I'm going to give you my year-to-date numbers. So prepare for shock and awe. I'm just kidding. Whatever. So I've read 91 books for a total of 29,412 pages at a page per day rate of 120.29. My best day so far is 581. And my average book rating is 7.44. So that's my year so far. I'm currently reading Valette by Charlotte Bronte, and another zombie book. I don't remember. It's called Adrian's Undead Diary. Not sure what. I can't remember the author. But I'm gonna let you go. I'm being watched by a cop, so that's gonna be fun. I'll see all of you down the road reading more.